Hey, good evening, Monday night folks. How's everybody doing for a Monday night? Oh, I can't see tonight. These glasses are driving me crazy. So I just shoved some tater tots in my mouth, and I guess I look okay for Monday night. So welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. Happy to have you here with me. Tonight's episode is going to be alien encounters. What we're going to go over are actual alien encounters. Some of these encounters were actually messaged to me from my fans, but it's going to be done anonymously, so I'm not going to be, naming names or anything on here. Hey, Julie. Hey, Michelle. And so we're going to go over some actual alien encounters of some of my fans. And also, tonight I wanted to do some characteristics of an alien encounter. What are the characteristics or traits of an alien encounter? Also, we're going to have a special guest on the show, my husband, David. He has an alien encounter he wants to share with you guys, and so we'll go over that as well. Hey, Tony. Hey, Lana. I also wanted to throw a special shout out to a few people in Harlan. As you guys may have caught on to, me and David went down to Harlan this last weekend for a documentary, and we were extras on the set of this documentary. So I want to special shout out to Christopher Maggard, who he is one of the hosts on the Search Existence Unknown on the Roku channel's Paranormal Reality TV. You guys, it's only $2.99 a month. They have some fabulous shows on there. If you want to go on and subscribe, I highly recommend it. It's what it is it streams paranormal content. So you're going to get to see a lot of really neat things there. This documentary that we got to be in on is going to be a really fabulous show when it comes out. So I want you guys to stay tuned for that, and I'm going to follow up with all the links to that as I get them. Now, I will include the link to Christopher Maggard's YouTube channel on this stream here in the comments section. So if any of you guys want to go on and subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can. So let's get started on tonight's content as people are hopping on. Okay, one problem. Let's see. Michelle Wagner says she can't hear me. So people shout out and let me know if my audio is okay. Let me do some more shout outs here. Special hello to Greta Hanshu and Lolly and Pam and Melissa Begley. Tell hi to Miss Cleo for me. So Julie can hear me. Michelle, try and see if your audio is turned up on your phone. And so if anybody could just type that in the comments section for Michelle to check her audio, that would be great. Thanks for the hearts and the thumbs up. So how many people know what the characteristics of an alien encounter are? I was very interested in this when I went through it because a lot of the things we have actually seen on TV, but they're really not listed like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the internet, and I was very surprised about that when I did my research on it. So, characteristics of an alien encounter, and this was very interesting. Usually a person is isolated when it happens, although in rare cases you're going to have groups of people or several people. But usually the person is segregated or isolated when this incident occurs. So Tony says his sound is good. Thank you, Tony, for that. Hey, to Pam Lowe. So, usually this person is going to be isolated or segregated when the incident happens. So what that kind of means is the person almost has to be focused in on what's going on or have a connection with what's going on, and there can't be any extraneous distractions. Although in my research I did find one particular incident that was very interesting. About it was a dual encounter, and this was in September of 1961. A married couple, Barney and Betty Hill, and they were in New Hampshire, experienced something totally out of the ordinary, a 3-hour lapse of memory before awakening in a seemingly magnetized car. After both underwent therapy, for this incident, they seem to recall similar visions of being abducted and probed by little gray men under hypnosis. So Betty had actually drawn a map of the constellation where the aliens claimed to be from, which first appeared to be nonsense, but after statisticians noticed the resemblance to the Zeta Reticuli system in the southern constellation of Reticulum, this is a largely unknown solar system for 1960. So their information checked out, and they gave these accounts separately between the husband and the wife. So I found that really fascinating, but it's very rare that you're going to have more than 2 people involved in an alien encounter. Now, if you guys are like me and you follow a lot of these stories along, there were a group of 4, I think, loggers that actually had an alien encounter, but only one of them was abducted. He went missing for several days. He was found later, and under treatment and hypnosis was able to recall a lot of what happened to him. And I didn't get a chance to look that one up, but let me go back and just make sure there aren't any comments to answer. So hey to Jill Jones and Paige and Doreen. Hey Doreen, nice to see you this evening. So let's get back to our characteristics of an alien encounter. Now, and 2, if you guys have any questions at all about this material, or you just want to give your account of something that happened to you, go right ahead. I'm ready for it. So we went over the isolation when it happens, except in rare cases. There's always usually a blackout or a loss of time. So you may not remember blacking out, or you may not experience the complete blackout, but you may think it, let's say I think it's 3 o'clock, and then all of a sudden I look over at the clock and it's 7:30, and I'm like, what happened to the last few hours? It's a loss of time, and a notable loss of time, and a disturbing loss of time as well. So that's kind of pretty characteristic of an alien encounter. There's also memory loss or memory gaps, where the person who it's happening to realizes that they can't remember the events of that prior day, and their consciousness is having trouble with that, and they're like struggling with it and thinking, why can't I remember this? I bet a lot of people were like, I feel like I'm getting Alzheimer's or something because I can't remember the day prior. So Pam Lose has a comment. His name is Travis. So Pam, was that the logger that I'm trying to remember that story about? Was that the logger? Was his name Travis? So just shout out back and let me know if that's the person that we're talking about, because I think that sounds pretty familiar. So yeah, memory loss or memory gaps are a big characteristic of alien encounters. The other thing that is extremely prevalent are electromagnetic disturbances and or electromagnetic storms. Like there's an electromagnetic storm, and then people will see lights coming in and have an alien encounter. Or like that encounter that I was reading about Barney and Betty Hill found that their car was electromagnetized, the steel on the car. So that kind of alluded to some electromagnetic event that happened. So here Pam says, yes, he was working on a logging crew. Now this is the fellow Travis, was working on a logging crew. Can't remember his last name, but his first name is Travis. That's a really well-noted story, and I think that there were 4 loggers that were involved in that incident, and they had reported him being abducted, although he wasn't found until several days later. And Travis Walton, Junior Eats, thank you so much for providing that. So if any of you guys want to look up that story, this guy's name was Travis Walton, W-A-L-T-O-N. So just look that up. I'm sure the story account is on the internet. It will probably, if you look it up on YouTube, I'm sure you could find a video about it, maybe from one of the paranormal shows that kind of aired that. But that was a fascinating show to watch. So any kind of these electromagnetic disturbances. Hey, Magnola. Also, if you follow these accounts, the majority of the accounts often occur at night. Why this occurs at night, I'm not really sure, other than, you know, they're not as noticed at night. It often occurs while the person's in bed or in a bedroom. They'll have accounts of being abducted. I'm thinking that this is probably due to the psychic element of it, or the telepathic element of the contact. So, but however, they are reporting physical anomalies or physical symptoms with these contacts. Sometimes these accounts will occur outside, but when they occur outside, it's most often during this electromagnetic storm, or after seeing bright lights in the sky coming down and then having a contact with the alien encounter. So yeah, and there have been a lot of stories on the internet about people who've seen lights at night, and then they experienced the memory loss and the time gap, and started putting all of these things together and figuring out, there's something that I missed, something that's been wiped from my mind that I need to try to remember. So Junior Eads, thank you so much. He's got some more details about Travis Walton. This account was in 1975 in Arizona. So, and you know, David and I went to Arizona, to Tucson, to do a nursing stint there for a while as travel nurses. And we had the best intentions to go out to Area 51. We never got to go because we were too busy hiking and having fun. Bad girl. But we wanted to go to Area 51, and I also wanted to go to Sedona, and we just got too busy and we never did it. So I regret that. So maybe that'll be, you know, continued on my bucket list. But back to these characteristics of an alien encounter. So after the person has the encounter and they realize they've lost time, you know, their memory is lapsed, or they may have seen the lights and then they're having trouble remembering what happened, most people will experience like a disruption in comfort level, or a mild anxiety, or onset of depression. Especially with some paranoid tendencies, like their body kind of knows that they've been attacked or invaded, but the psyche is cloaked from that. Which, if you remember from part 1 of Alien Encounters, where I was talking about it, a lot of people will feel like they've had an alien encounter but not be able to remember it, because part of the alien agenda is to cover up and secrete everything that they're doing or all the information that they're drawing from the person. Because they do not, a lot of these races do not want what they're trying to get out of us known. So that produces this paranoid feeling, this disruption in a person's comfort level, you know, this mild anxiety, this depression. So after the encounter, the person, usually their persona changes somewhat. You can see a person who is normally happy-go-lucky all of a sudden change to really anxious and a little bit paranoid. Let me page back just to make sure there aren't any questions. Shout out to Ricky Elkins. Hi, Guy. How are you? Another thing that happens with these characteristics of alien encounter is the person will notice strange markings or scratches or burns even on the skin in different areas. Sometimes on the back of the neck, usually on the back of the neck or the spine area. And what I find interesting about this is that's the area that spirits use to go in to make contact with the person if they're trying to, you know, attach to them. And you will kind of see that on a lot of videos that catch light anomalies like orbs and stuff. You'll see them either going into the head or into the back of the neck or into the spine to make contact with that person, and sometimes to even form an attachment. So I find it rather interesting that in alien encounters, these areas are the most prevalent for these type of markings to be found. So I thought that was really interesting. Oh, one of the other type of markings to be found are bruises. So that was very interesting. We talked about the person's personality changing with the onset of anxiety and depression with paranoid tendencies. That's another big characteristics of it. This next one is one of the most classical ones that I've found in the research are dreams. When a person dreams of being abducted or they dream of being experimented on by aliens. So the dreams may be those repressed memories trying to surface, to try to tell the person, hey, you know, look, you didn't forget what happened yesterday. This is what happened yesterday. And your psyche needs to try to deal with that. So these repressed memories can also return with a trigger. Let's say, you know, you think you were abducted by an alien and strapped to a metal table. And somehow you got exposed to a metal table and bumped into it, and that triggered that memory. You have to have a trigger in order for these repressed memories to surface. So something physical has to trigger that memory. And that is another characteristic of the alien encounter. So let me check our time. Okay, we're doing good. I'm going to read you a few of these alien encounters that people relayed to me, and then we'll bring David in at the end of it so that he can tell you what.
Hey, it's my spaceship.
Well, while you're here, let's just go ahead with your alien encounter.
I like my little spaceship.
I like your spaceship.
All right.
Go ahead and tell everybody what you went through.
Okay. So much to this, really simple. Me and a friend of mine, we were about 12. We may have been 13. We were camping out one night beside Mom and Dad's house. And this was in Mousie, Kentucky.
And that's in Knott County.
In Knott County.
Mm-hmm.
M-O-U-S-I-E, as it sounds, if you want to check coordinates on it for some reason. Young kids, got a fire going. We stay up late. About 2 o'clock in the morning, there's no sound at all, and 3 lights in a triangle formation are moving across the sky. They move from the mountain behind us to over top of the mountain in front of us. Stops. There's a pause. It seemed like probably 10 minutes, but with all the excitement, it was probably 2 or 3 minutes.
What were you guys doing when?
Staring.
I mean, did anybody say anything? Like, were you guys communicating with each other?
We were communicating. Do you see what I see?
Yeah.
Do you see that? There's 3 yada, yada,
What
yada.
color were the lights?
White.
White.
Yeah, the lights were white. Nothing special about them. They weren't sparkling. They were just plain Jane 3 white lights.
But you knew it was unusual.
We knew it was unusual. This is Knott County.
Yeah.
This is in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
There's no spotlights or searchlights that go up in the air anywhere in Knott County for any reason. So.
Yeah. So what happened after that?
Well, the lights stay there for a few minutes, and then they each break off and go a different direction. One goes straight on over the mountain. The other 2 come back this way and go back at angles. Of course, we're wired up. We're young boys.
Sure.
And we stay up.
Did you stay up the rest of the night?
We stayed up the rest of the night. 2 hours, it may have been 3 hours later, the lights came back together over top of the mountain to the triangle formation. And then very quickly, I mean, just from dead stop to gone.
Was there any sound?
There was no sound ever. None.
And you guys didn't lose any time? Each of you
No,
remembered the same thing?
Yeah, we did. There was no abduction. We remember the same thing. There was no loss of time. And
do you think that those things were aware that you were watching them, or do you think that they were not aware?
Do ants know we're standing over top of them?
Only
Probably,
if you step on it.
Only if you step on it. So probably not.
Yeah.
I won't name the other fellow, but he went on to become an Air Force pilot and piloted AC-30 gunship.
Wow, that's impressive.
So
yeah,
he's not a fellow that was easily sold on anything. Very intelligent.
Well,
so,
thank you for sharing that. Thanks for sharing your UFO.
That's my UFO.
Oh, God.
So we'll be gone.
Okay.
As quickly as we can.
Well, thanks, dear. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
Hey, Michelle. Let me make sure there's no comments. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple of other encounters, and then we'll be done for the evening. This has been kind of fun. Now, this one was relayed to me. Oh, here, Ricky says, not as impressive as being a VA nurse. Hey, Pam. So this one was relayed to me by one of my fans, and I'm going to do it anonymously. So this person says, so I've had some experiences, but I'm not sure they'd be considered alien or paranormal. I've seen a lot of both, but anyway, when I was living in Rockholds, I saw a large red ball that looked like fire descend to the ground and then shoot back up into the sky. After a few months later, my cousin saw the same thing, except they recounted it as being green. So I found that very interesting that 2 separate people were able to account the same thing, only in different colors. I found that very interesting. So, and then I wanted to add this too, and this was the largest UFO sighting, I think, that's been noted. Hey, Shelley, on March 13th in 1997, now that's not that long ago, literally thousands of people across the city of Phoenix and nearby areas reported strange glowing lights that slowly moved across the night sky in the shape of a V. As there has never been a clear explanation of what took place that evening, although people suspect flares or Chinese lanterns. I really question that. Many UFO enthusiasts believe that this event in Phoenix is one of the best documented examples of a UFO sighting. And so there were thousands of people in 1997 that had seen that thing happen. So, and this was, I wanted to mention this one too before we close up, because this one I found very, very interesting, and I think I had seen a couple of programs on this before. For years, UFO watchers have claimed Sochi, Russia, to be a galactic hub from which alien spacecraft can regularly be observed with the naked eye. Some enthusiasts have even suggested that the nearby summit of, I can't pronounce it really, it's the Baitika Mountains, function as sort of a gateway between worlds. True or not, Sochi has built a reputation as a major UFO destination for ET enthusiasts. And the program that I watched on this once before had some video of very regularly coming and going of UFOs that were well documented on video. So, you know, there's a lot of evidence out there. There's a lot of evidence. So Cynthia says, blasted, she missed the beginning. That's okay, Cynthia. You know, all of these episodes are uploaded to my YouTube channel, and any of you guys can go back and watch any of the past episodes at any time. Hey, Mary. Even though, like, the first episodes where I'm doing it on my phone is, like, real small and it's hard to see, it's the information that counts, you guys. Especially the videos on life after death, ghosts and spirits. You guys need to go back and watch those. I know they're not the best video quality. I am getting better. If you really enjoy these videos, hit that share button down there and share this with your friends. I would love for everybody to come on my YouTube channel and watch the past episodes. If you guys want a personalized reading, I'm going to leave my link in the comment section. Give us a like. And just don't forget, next Monday is going to be another episode of Alien Encounters. I'm not sure exactly which one I want to do yet. So if there's something in particular you guys want to see, comment section, please. Okay? And I will see you next Monday. Kisses from Kentucky. Bye, you guys.